Adult movie usage is down 47% since the introduction of the Online Safety Act. But not in my house, it's not. All I did was download Surfshark for less than the price of a coffee a month, and trust me, that has more than paid for itself. 10 times over. Honestly, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I just click on Surfshark on my phone, click on I'm now in America, and then I don't have to do all of this, enter your age, enter your ID. I don't want to send a picture of myself, I just want to see some big boobs. But whatever you're into, Surfshark has got you covered, and it is the easiest app to use ever created. And also, if you want to watch boxing and football, this app is going to come in handy. You know exactly what I'm on about. And it works on all of your devices, so what the hell are you waiting for, lads? Just click the link in the description below, go to surfshark.com/kickoff, and you can get the ultimate game changer for your everyday entertainment in Surfshark for less than the price of a coffee a month. And that includes 4 extra months of Surfshark when you use my link. So not only are you having a good time, you're helping us keep the lights on and make more good content for you. This is a no-brainer. It's a win-win. So do me a favour, get on it. Welcome back to the kickoff. Today we are going to talk Mo Salah versus Arne Slot. We're going to talk about the title race. Arsenal drop points, Chelsea drop points. What's going on there, lads? How are you feeling? You haven't had the best of weeks. You all right?
I mean, I thought Chelsea were on for a title run last week. What's happened, boys?
Well, after that loss, mate, we're still in it. You know, if you'd drawn that game, we would have been out of it.
We got to say, Aston Villa are in it. I don't know why no one's saying that. Aston Villa are in it.
Absolutely they are. We'll get into it. I'll read the Mo Salah quotes out because we all know what's been happening. He made it very clear after Arne Slot's 9 defeats in his last 15 games, 1 win in their last 6 games. And maybe the timing is interesting. He said that they have no relationship. The first time in my career I've been benched like this. I earned my position. I've done so much for this club, and the club's thrown me under the bus, and someone wants to get me all the blame. They aren't protecting me. You know, what happened when Harry Kane wasn't scoring for 10 games? The media were like, well, Harry will score for sure. But when it comes to Mo, everyone's like, he needs to be benched. I'm sorry, Harry. Someone doesn't want me at the club. And I don't know what's going to happen when I'm at AFCON. So I'll say goodbye on the last game to the fans, which is the next one against Brighton. Tomorrow, Jamie Carragher is going to criticise me, but that's fine. Lads, just let me know your thoughts on this statement.
It's mad. It's absolutely mad, isn't it? I can't believe that it's happening so early on in the season to a point where now players are, and we say that, you know, we talk about the words that Mo Salah has said. The rumours are that's echoed within the dressing room.
Yeah.
And I think Mo Salah is the one that's willing to go, do you know what? I nearly went twice over the past couple of years. If I'm the one that has to take, to be in the firing line here, then I'll do it. But I actually think that the senior figures within that changing room are thinking a very, very similar thing. I actually watched the interview where he said it because I thought, let me see the way he says it or whatever. If it's said with anger, if he's scathing and things like that, it will mean one thing. And actually, he was very, very calm. He was almost like in disbelief as he was saying it, like, I don't know, like raising his eyebrows and stuff like that. And that actually was more damning to me because I feel like sometimes in a moment of confrontation or when you're speaking about someone, if you had that person on a level platform with you or above you like you should have as a player to the manager, you're probably going to be maybe a little bit more direct, a little bit more angry. He's almost saying it and laughing along with the reporters like, yeah, I'm just as clueless as you. I don't know what he's doing.
Great point, Joey, because I think the way he sees Arne Slot really came across in that interview in the sense of like you say, he's not speaking in a respectful way. And he's thinking, remember, he was very open about the conversation that was had at the start of last season. I don't want to defend. I want to score you goals, get you assists, and I want to win you this fucking league. And he put that to him. And basically, there's a level of player power now that Mo Salah has gotten to by not just, telling you how to play me, but also then going and winning the league and proving I was right, motherfucker. And I have carried this club. Like, let's be real. Liverpool were a decent side last season, but that was the best stats we've ever seen from a Premier League footballer, arguably.
Yep. Like 47 goal involvements.
Yeah. He dragged them to this. So now he's looking at it going, all right, yeah, I know I haven't been great, but have I not done enough overall for you and for this club to be? And I'm not saying Salah's right to say this, but I can see where his mind is at, and the fact that he's looking at Slot going, do you know I made you look fucking amazing last season, and now you look like shit, bro, and you're not even playing me.
We actually had multiple debates on the kickoff during the Ronaldo situation when that was unfolding with Ten Hag. He was getting dropped and stuff like that. And you were looking at it going, Ronaldo had 20 plus goal involvements last season. You've taken him out of the team. So there was actually a lot of food for thought with that conversation we were having there. When you go 47 goal involvements, I honestly don't care. I think it is criminal if you're taking that man out of the team. The other thing is, if you put yourself inside the head of Mo Salah's probably thinking, your reputation has been basically made by me so far. Without the 47 goal involvements, you would have been in a title race in a season where there was no title race, basically. Mo Salah fired them there, and I can completely understand where he's coming from. I think that there's always a dangerous part when you get into that element of the game where a player's questioning a manager, and I understand that there needs to be that authority there, but I can completely see why he's upset with the situation.
I got a question for Jacob and Josh here, because he said someone at the club doesn't want me here. I don't think he was meaning Arne Slot. I think he's pointing at the guys above him, Michael Edwards. When you think about the insane summer spending spree that Liverpool went on, 450 million spend, not to mention the 400 grand a week contract they've given Mo Salah, and they're probably looking at Mo Salah thinking his form has dropped off a cliff, and given his age, can we cash in here? Maybe he's had a word with Slot and went, just fucking drop him and he'll want out, and we'll get fucking Saudi money back in. Because if they get 100 million for him, that's going to recoup some of the damages from that summer spending. What do you think? Is that possible?
Mate, I've said this a couple of times on the last 2 times we've recorded that I don't, it's not that I feel sorry for Slot, but I think Michael Edwards needs to take a lot of responsibility for this. And I'll be honest with you, like, I thought of the same comparison, Joey, about Ronaldo and Ten Hag. But the flip is, Ten Hag was a mug. And whatever you think of Arne Slot, he came in last season, first season, won the Premier League. And it's easy to look back on that now because of where they are right now. But I think so much of that is down to the squad building over the summer. Like, none of us have got an answer to how you squeeze Ekitike, Isak, Wirtz and Salah into a team. And I'll be honest with you, Liverpool fans that I know have been saying the only way to do it is to take Salah out of the team. And that this is going to work when Salah's out of the team. Slot's done it, and now he's the one that's getting thrown under the bus by Salah. So the whole thing is just a mess. And it's like, I look at those sporting directors who've done so much, by the way. Like, for years, we held up Liverpool as being, that is good squad building. They sell well, they buy well. But you look at it now and it's like, this was always coming. This was always going to come. You gave him that contract. Then you signed 2 strikers. Then you signed Wirtz. Like, it's not that I think that Slot is blameless in all of this. The form that Liverpool are in, he can't be blameless. But no one is saying, like, no one's been watching Mo Salah this season and going, he's the guy, he's the one, you should still be building it around him. Loads of Liverpool fans have been saying it's time to move on from him. Like, there's no
those
right
same Liverpool fans. Question: was it not those same Liverpool fans who were also supporting him and getting him a 400 grand a week contract? Because Liverpool fans were very supportive of him, and yes, his form's changed a lot, but like, what do we make of the fact that he is willing to go this level of nuclear? Josh, like, he's clearly saying, I might fucking leave this January. Now, that isn't just an ordinary footballer walking out the door. The reason Liverpool have won everything they've won in that Klopp era, Salah was a major, if not the biggest part of it. This is a club legend, one of the greatest of all time, and it's going to be a separation that is extremely toxic at this point.
There's no sentimentality left in football, and this is the thing. Like, the equivalent that I can think of as a Chelsea fan is when Eden Hazard left, and how we felt in that moment was it was the end of the era. It was an end of a moment at Chelsea where we wouldn't have another mercurial talent, anything like him, for years. And guess what? That turned out to be true. But also, the club is always bigger than an individual player. It's a 33-year-old mercurial winger. And I'm sorry, but a sell-by date on a mercurial winger is about 32, 33. Like, you don't often get really good years out of those players. And I'm sorry to say this against Mo Salah, but the goal contributions this season aren't the same as they were last season. Like, he's got 6 goal involvements in 13 games. that isn't necessarily a 400 grand a week player. And this is the thing, like football now is run in a business way. Liverpool are actually one of the clubs that run their team in a very economically focused business sense. And that's how they were able to spend so much money, because they'd saved so much money previously, right? So unfortunately, they have allowed the sentimentality of a player that is a club legend who has had a major impact, but they've labelled that to cloud their judgment. And what they haven't done is gone, do you know what? In the grand scheme of things, letting a 33-year-old winger go might have been the best thing to do if that enabled us to get 2 proper central defensive cover players in and build a rest of a team. Because unfortunately, as much as Mo Salah can win you a title by getting loads of goal contributions, as he gets older, he isn't going to be able to do that. And unfortunately, you need to build a team.
Nailed it, Josh. I completely agree with everything you're saying. I think if you look at the history of Liverpool, and the way they strong-armed, they definitely fucked Newcastle to some degree in the way that all unfolded. They definitely played games with Crystal Palace over Gahey and tried to have a photo finish who blinks first moment with them. Like, it's not a surprise that they would do shit like this to their own footballers. Like, this is, they're gangsters at this club, in my opinion. So, my thing is though, after what we're seeing this season and the unravelling of Liverpool, not just Mo Salah, and I think Mo Salah does have a point in that there's a lot of underperformers right now who are starting week in, week out. So how come I'm the one who's being singled out? And in a way he is, considering, and maybe that's because they've actually got players who can outperform him in that position.
How is he, sorry, 1 second. How is he being singled out?
In his mind. In
his mind, yeah.
Yeah, he's right. So example.
He's been put on the bench.
Their centre-backs have been absolutely horrific this season. You could argue they've been way worse than him even, right? Because they're getting singled out and they're at fault for when the worst things happen. He might be looking at them, and I'm not saying he's right, but going, how come that fucker's starting every week and I'm the one on the bench for 3 games in a row?
And to get inside his head as well. Sorry, you must look at it and you must be able to see that a lot of the things that Mo Salah is clearly unhappy about, even things that we stated on today's kickoff, are things that are out of his hands. Like at the end of the day, they've obviously tragic circumstances with one. They've lost 3 first team players from last season, Liverpool, right? That they had in their team last season. They've invested heavily, but not invested in one position, which before the window we would have probably said was their priority. Not only that, if you actually look at the games they're losing this season, I do understand there's a lot of weight there that Mo Salah can be at fault for certain things. I think it was 5 losses in 6 games before they took him out of the starting lineup. So I understand that. But also, if we're looking at it as a whole, I'm looking at Liverpool this season and going, your main problem is your defence. So Mo Salah, I understand that it's a team game and, you can't carry players and whatever. Mo Salah's probably thinking, this end of the pitch ain't even my problem at this moment in time. And as I say, when we're coming off the back of a 47 goal involvement season, personally, I think that if you have a run in the team where, you do go through a horrific run, I kind of feel like you've got enough money in the bank at that point. And I think that most people would also say that really where they finish in the league this season is dependent on what ends up happening now, and rather than just being on one individual player. So I would look at other players around me and think, well, hold on, why am I being singled out? Because I can definitely see why he feels like that.
Look, when we're looking at Liverpool at the start of the season, we were saying that this was a dynasty moment. Potentially, they were adding to an already championship-winning team, 450 million quid worth. The more I'm watching, and yes, there's a lot of talent in this club, but like with the way Mo Salah's going out like this, it feels like this is when Klopp left. It wasn't the end of the Klopp era. Klopp's soul was in that team. They won that championship based off of Klopp, in my opinion, as much as any human being, on the pitch or off the pitch. And Slot got a lot of credit from that, but really now is the end of the Klopp era. Now is where players that were elite for Klopp and Slot are now drifting out, not necessarily completely. Virgil van Dijk might still start games, but he's not Virgil van Dijk that we seen in that era. And actually, the more I'm watching these performances and the lapses in concentration and how Leeds, for example, were able to come back from 2-0 down, even come back again, it's actually the opposite of a dynasty. It's actually the ending of a dynasty that didn't get the rewards it could have gotten if Man City weren't allowed to spend whatever the fuck they were spending. But it was still a dynasty, an impressive team. And actually now I'm like, this is a full-blown crisis for Liverpool, in my opinion, lads.
Do you not think it's the end of the Slot dynasty?
Slot's dynasty is only just beginning. Now's the time.
No, but it's not. It's ending. Let's be honest. If it's a choice,
crushing and burning, isn't it?
But
if it's a choice,
the owners have. That's the question the owners need to answer. It's where do you put your chips? Do you put your chips in behind the manager who's just won a title and go, I'm going to back him, let Salah go, and any dissenting voices in the dressing room, fuck you. We spent a load of money last summer, we're going to make that work. Do you say, this manager has lost so many games that I've got to back the guys in the dressing room? In which case, maybe you hold on to Salah, you don't take the Saudi money. I think everyone would agree if you get £100 million offer for him, you have to take it. But then, do you back the guys who are going to stay? Do you back an ageing Virgil van Dijk, who I think we've seen gaps in his game this season? This is the reason this could be a crisis, is because there's no easy answer of who you should back. I think we all agree that player power is ugly, but the player power in this situation is aging players that you can't build around anyway. What you want is to be able to go, Isak's firing, Wirtz is firing, let's back those guys. But they're not.
And is that
they haven't got a Jacob Murphy. That's their problem. They're one Jacob Murphy shy of competing, these lads. I feel so bad for him. Do you know what, yeah? If I go out and spend 110 million on a player and he plays in midfield, he might not be the exact same role. I would probably hope he can do a bit of what Jacob Murphy can do, you know?
Mate, Jacob Murphy is such a bang average footballer who occasionally puts in a nice pass or a cross. Like, it's such a funny comparison for me to listen to that and be like, and imagine you're Mo Salah. Mo Salah's going, like, and he's admitted, we're not speaking. There is no man management there. There's nothing, and that's a bit of a damning indictment on Slot. And then at the same time, you're singing the praises of a guy who literally couldn't start for Newcastle against Burnley. Are you fucking shitting me, mate? Like, we can win without Jacob Murphy. Why can't you? You know, we've got him. You fucking moron.
The player power argument we just had there, that literally summarises this whole thing, by the way, because Jacob, you just said, it's hard to pick sort of thing. No. If you take away player power, it's fucking easy to pick where you're going to plant your flag with the players. Yeah. It's only player power that stops you doing that, in my opinion.
I think it depends on what's going on inside the dressing room. I think it would be smart. If I'm the owners of Liverpool, I pull Slot in for an interview, and then I pull Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and a couple of other players in, and I go, right, what's fucking really going on here? And I figure out, like, if they sit there and go, we want him out, he's fucked it, we're not happy, then you've got no decision to make as far as I'm concerned, because you've got a 22-man squad or whatever, and if they're all saying, we don't want to play for him anymore, and the results are dog shit, I don't think you can do anything but sack him. But if it's not the case and it's just Mo Salah throwing his toys out the pram, then you can isolate him and do what they've done in the past. But I think right now, who's got more credit in the bank? Mo Salah must have more credit in the bank, in my opinion, for a lot of Liverpool fans. But because it's not like things are going well on the pitch and Mo Salah is the only... I'm not saying Mo Salah isn't to blame or that he should be playing or anything like that. I'm just saying if we look into the hearts of Liverpool fans, I do believe Mo Salah might come out on top here. But... it depends on what happens in those boardroom meetings. Lads, if we were just going to come to a final sort of vote, who wins in this scenario, Slot or Salah? I'm going to go to Josh, because Josh seems quite opinionated on this. What are you thinking, mate?
I think both of them will be gone by next summer. I think Slot will go first. I think he'll be sacked, and then I think Salah will probably go in the
So you
summer.
think initially,
Josh
though,
picks no one.
No,
I think both of them are fucked.
But initially, in this initial fight between the two,
Slot will go first. I think Slot could be sacked within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm gonna. What you just said, Joey, I'm actually backing it. I'm going no one. I think Slot probably should be sacked, and I also think Salah probably should be sold. If you can get 100 million quid for a 34-year-old on that much money, you should be biting their hands off, especially after the money spent last summer. And I also think it's probably done for Slot. Liverpool are fully back to square one. They are fully back to the drawing board now. And by the way, they've still got hundreds of £1 million worth of forwards that they need to get a song out of that they can't.
Don't you worry. Wait until Alexander Isak clicks, mate. Honestly, wait until that happens. 14 games, no goals, no assists for Florian Wirtz, if you're wondering. Right, on to Arsenal, who dropped points against Aston Villa. And I do want to start this little bit by saying, fuck me, Aston Villa. We played them at the start of the season. and we had no striker. We played them off the park. We just couldn't beat them. It was away at Villa. The transformation I've watched in that first game to now, where they are outplaying Arsenal, outfighting Arsenal. And don't get me wrong, Arsenal weren't bad. It was a very good competitive game. One of the better Arsenal matches I watched this season. But I thought Villa really proved a point in that game of like, whether or not they can maintain this, it's going to be very difficult. But they're serious here.
Yeah, they've got serious players. They've got serious players. You look across that pitch between Onana and Kamara in midfield, that's a serious midfield. Morgan Rogers is a fucking serious player. Yep. Emi Martinez, I thought, was brilliant yesterday. Yep. The way he baited the press, kept the ball, made us run on and then went through us or went long. You got to give them their credit, man. They were really good. I thought it was a good game. I thought it's one of the best Big Six games we've seen all season. Both teams probably going for it.
What about the last kick of the game, right? You've seen it out. Right, you're going for the Premier League champions here. This is championship mentality we're acquiring. Why could you not see out the game?
Because I think we've got defenders who shouldn't be on the pitch if our fit defenders are there. And I think you're always going to see a drop-off. We've got the best two centre-backs in the world, in my opinion. And I don't think Hincapié is a bad player. I don't think Jurrien Timber's a bad right-back. But when you've got those two at centre-back, I think the other thing as well is that, and I was glad we did this, we were going for the win. That comes because on the other end of the pitch, we're going for the win. Declan Rice is slashing the ball across the box. 17-stone Victor Gyökeres is 50 yards away watching that happen, not even competing with a defender. Noni Madueke, thank you very much, boys. 52 million quid. Hope you enjoy it. He just smashes it into the side netting. Emi Martinez gets the ball, restarts the game. Off they go. Hincapié doesn't clear his lines. It happens. I've got to be honest with you. I was pissed off with the mistakes. I was pissed off that we didn't clear our lines. I was screaming at Hincapié to just get the ball out. But I'm glad that we were going for the win because I watched us last season. The reason we get nowhere near last season is we draw so many games.
Regardless of whether you were going for the wins, regardless of that though, you should have done better for that last goal. Surely you've got three men around Buendia. And when we talk about, fighting for the game, actually I would summarise that goal and say that really did show a lot of fight for the game. Other players, even players from my own side, Chelsea, would have gone down in that moment and hoped that maybe someone had a tug at them. I thought Buendia showed a lot of fight in that moment to not go down, to stay upright, even if he wasn't fouled, to stay upright and then to actually get on the end of that ball himself that he had just let go seconds before.
I completely agree with you, Joe. I agree with you, Joe, but I'm not going to slate our defenders who, as I say, are like reserve defenders. They're all knackered. Fair enough. Where I'm going to be pissed off is that moment, as I say, that comes 30 seconds after the fact that we're at the other end of the pitch. And I think tactically, we're trying to win the game. Where I'm pissed off, you go back and watch that goal Buendia scores. Count how many Villa players are in that box, committing themselves, making that run to get in the box and try and score a goal. And there's a lot of those players who are on the pitch from the start of the game, by the way. At the other end of the pitch, you've got Victor Gyökeres nowhere near that cross that comes in from Declan Rice. That is a guy who we bought this summer, who we said, this is win now. We don't have to develop him. He's not Sesko. He's not young. He's coming on with half a game to go. This should be the kind of game that he thrives on. He can't even get in the fucking box. Like, Noni Madueke, like, that ball comes in, he slashes it into the side netting, keep the ball, hold the ball up, try and let other players get in the box to get a goal. Like, that's where I'm pissed off. I'm not going to slate the defenders because they're not our first choice defenders, and this happens, right? It's the fact that the attackers at the other end of the pitch couldn't do what Villa did.
Question, I mean, Aston Villa are 3 points off you now, 2 points above Man City, and in the last three games, it's draw, win, loss. Is this the beginning of Arsenal, and not to say bottling it, but like, are they going to crumble under the pressure here?
No, listen, our November form was enough, mate. You win the league in November, that's what it's all about, right? No, I think we're in a moment where we have got a few injuries, especially at the back, and I think we're a team. Ironically, we've had a lot of offensive injuries earlier in the season, but we're a team built on a strong defence, and we lose those players. They're our two most important players, probably, Gabriel and Saliba. Whether that's from set pieces, whether that's about keeping clean sheets. The old Chelsea defensive record's looking pretty safe now, boys. Don't worry about that. But I look at this week. City have got to play Real Madrid and then go to Palace. That's a tough week. We've got Club Brugge away. I'd play the fucking kids in that. I want double barrel surnames and players that don't have a face on FIFA. And then the weekend, we got Wolves at home, and that should be all right. And then going into the second half of the season, we've done most of the difficult away games. We've got to do the Etihad. I like to think that we can still pull away once we get players back. I've said it for a while. It's going to be the Etihad in April. We're probably going to have to go there and win that game. And Arteta's never won at the Etihad. That's Bowser. That's final boss. If you want this title, you've got to go and do the thing you've never done. Go and slay the dragon. And it'll be on that because looking at City, you know, I was watching them last night. That Cherky assist for Foden. Like, we haven't got players that do.
Mate, I'm so annoyed, right? Because they got him for such a low fee. And we've seen him in the Europa League last season, I think it was. And I remember just watching him thinking, I would fucking love a player like you for Newcastle. And we've spent way more for way less. But enough about me. Chelsea, last week, boys, you were on a high, right? It got a bit out of hand. Right, we all get carried away. It happens. Do you know what I mean? And since then, you haven't won a game. No wins in 3 games, actually. Since the draw with Arsenal, it's been 3-1 defeat to Leeds and failing to beat Bournemouth. Now, what's gone wrong?
It's Christmas time as a Chelsea fan. Welcome to our world. Chelsea, no matter what, if you want to pick a club and you're specifically thinking who's going to make your Christmas good, don't fucking pick Chelsea. Yeah. Because this is when we always just go to shit a little bit. I think that yesterday, funnily enough, even though we picked up a point, yesterday was a more damning indictment than Leeds because we just didn't do anything yesterday. We didn't create anything. I think Pedro Neto had a shot on goal. At least against Leeds, we scored a goal and created multiple opportunities as bad as we were. Whereas yesterday was just null and void of any entertainment in the game.
And that's annoying because you're supposed to respond. You're supposed to respond to Leeds, aren't you? You're not, Josh, like, were you surely expecting a bit of a reaction after Leeds?
Yeah, I was expecting a reaction, but to be honest with you, against Bournemouth, I didn't really expect too much. Like, they're a very good team. And like, to be fair, we do seem just so pitiful at the moment up front. Like, Cole Palmer's just getting back used to the team and obviously like not 100% fit, still coming in. Delap, don't even know what happened with Delap.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Delap, because I've seen a lot of criticism online from Chelsea fans in the last 24 hours around him. Yeah. Obviously, he was kind of bought as a replacement, you could say, for Nicholas Jackson. With what you're saying, are you kind of wishing you had Nicholas Jackson back instead of Delap?
This is no, I don't. And the answer to that is just purely the goal conversion numbers. Like, I think if you looked at what he was doing, like, he was doing the right things, he was getting the right areas. It was discipline that was the biggest issue for me. And then goal conversion, like his goal conversion stats compared to Delap were half of what Delap's were. And it was even more for João Pedro. Like, if you compare the two, but now, like, obviously we need someone up front, but I don't know if that's necessarily Nicholas Jackson personally.
Would you rate Nicholas Jackson as being able to contribute more goals than Liam Delap?
Probably, yeah.
So the answer is yeah. If it's out of the two of them, you'd rather Jackson. I think so. I look at it and I look at Nicholas Jackson this season.
Because he's still in that contract. The reason I'm saying that he's not going to go to Bayern Munich. He said they're not signing him.
He's never coming back.
What the worst thing
Bayern
is,
have said they're not signing him.
But he's not. He'll go to someone else. He'll go to someone else. The worst part of this isn't necessarily the individuals, because I think both Delap and João Pedro in the Premier League this season haven't performed in the way that they needed to. Delap for an injury reason, and João Pedro potentially because he is injured, but also just he hasn't performed up front. The worst part of this is João Pedro really, and Jacob said this at the start of the season, is that sort of like in between a 9 and a 10. And Delap is your 9, but you kind of need a senior striker in front of a Delap so that he can bed in and grow as a young player and develop, right? And this is the squad planning issue that we haven't had. Now we've gone out and we've bought this Omega from Strasbourg. He doesn't come in until next summer, but then you're still thinking, is he the one that's going to be the out and out number 9 that we really need? Bearing in mind, we've just said we're still going to probably sell Nicholas Jackson. So for me, the biggest worry that we have is that we have this conveyor belt of young players, but we don't know necessarily if they're going to be the elite players that need to take you from a Champions League qualifying team to a title winning team. And I don't think Omega right now is going to be that player. I don't think Delap is going to be that player. And João Pedro, there's a big question mark.
Title race wise, is this it for you? Do you think you're out of it now?
I think it's a weak season. And I think that if you look at, we were speaking about Aston Villa earlier, right? And we're talking about how amazing it is. It is amazing. they are only 1 point better off in the leagues than they were at this point last season. We all know that they're going to go deep in Europe as they did last season. And therefore, if we're to look at last season, you'd expect a little bit of a drop off from them. Man City, you can look at it through two different lenses. You can look at it and say, well, you've been sort of picking up points when you haven't even been playing that well. And there are games where, you know, a lesser side maybe would have drawn or lost to a Leeds, for example, and Man City have got over the line. So you could say, well, when you boys start ticking over, the problem with doing that is you go, well, are they going to? So I actually don't see anyone in the league at this moment in time, even including Arsenal, that I think are just going to run away with it. And therefore, like a boxing match, you just got to be in there or thereabouts, stay in there, and you might land a big shot. And I do think that's what we're kind of calling it now. It's a puncher's chance.
I think if Arsenal had Gabriel and Saliba, they would be the title elect and they would go out and do it, right? And until they both come back, I think there's still question marks on the title.
Saliba will be back this week. Gabriel's about 2 weeks away.
There you go.
I agree with you, Josh. If they stay fit, we should be there and thereabouts. But you look at City's attack, you can't argue with that. That's easily the best attack in the league, if not Europe. Like they will just outscore teams.
I mean,
but then they also will concede, though. So I think if you get those players back and you do keep the goals down, you will be the champions. Newcastle, it depends on how fit they're going to be.
Newcastle aren't very good, and we beat City. Like we're really not playing very well at the moment. So look, they can definitely drop points. That's for damn sure.
Just quickly, has anyone watched the 50 Cent P Diddy thing on Netflix?
Not yet.
Because Unai Emery definitely has, right? 50 Cent over the past couple of weeks has become a genius in looking good on hating on someone. And I honestly feel like Unai Emery is replicating it with Arsenal now. Since he went into Aston Villa, I think when he first went there, I think Jacob, you might remember this, had he only been there a couple of weeks maybe at that first game when you beat them 4-2.
Yeah.
But since then, you've had 5 games there. Mate, Unai Emery's picked up 10 points in 5 games against Aston Villa. Against Arsenal for Aston Villa, which means 3 out of his last 5 he's won with a draw in there. Man City have only picked up 3 points in their last 5 against Arsenal. Liverpool, coming off the back of winning the league, have only picked up 6 points in their last 5 games against Arsenal. Unai Emery's got it in for them.
Yeah. As has Ollie Watkins as well, who had a great game yesterday.
Yeah.
Interestingly, a lot of Liverpool fans were shouting out Unai Emery as their desired replacement for Arne Slot, which I think it would be a very much interesting watching Unai have the same level of firepower as Arteta, and what kind of battle that could turn into.
Guys, I just had it's going to be Iraola and Semenyo, isn't it? Like Liverpool are going to get Iraola and Semenyo. That's what's going to happen.
Possibly. And
surely.
One of the unfortunate things for Chelsea, obviously, is that they couldn't capitalise on Arsenal dropping points. We did have a conversation last week. I did ask you the question, are you a bit annoyed at Caicedo for getting suspended for 3 games? You said, no, not at all. Now I'm looking at it thinking, if he'd not done that, would he not have helped you get?
He's been waiting for this, Joey. So, he's had the knife ready, and he's just been waiting to stick it in.
Availability is the best ability in football.
I'm just saying, don't shoot the
Ask Romeo Lavia.
The title race, right?
I'm more concerned than I am annoyed, by the way, because if my overriding feeling was annoyance, then what it would do is it would mask over what this couple of games has taught us. And I know that people give me stick for this. It's a very easy way of simplifying things. But the last couple of games, for anyone, whether you're a Chelsea fan or not, you can see that Chelsea are half the team that they are with Caicedo in it when he's not there.
Facts.
So rather than being annoyed at him for these couple of games, it's more actually making me worry and making me think, God, I hope this boy stays fit. Because if you come out through something that is your own fault, like an injury, then it could be dire straits for us.
And unfortunately, Romeo Lavia has not been able to provide the cover that we were expecting. On a Newcastle, lads, unfortunately, it's really weird to feel the way I feel after winning.
You won.
I know.
What are we even talking about? You won a game.
Do you know what it is, lads, though? It's like all season, my performances have been really bad a lot of the time and sometimes okay at best, right? And what I need, because we all know performances eventually have to match, they will match the results. And you're looking for sustainability. You're looking, right, if we perform like this week in, week out on average, we're going to win more often than not. And I want to see what the fuck is the plan here. And I was just watching that Burnley game, knowing like Right, we got real lucky. Bruno scores from a fucking corner, right? Did he mean it? Did he? Fuck, brilliant. 1-0, lovely. Open the floodgates, right? We get a player sent off for Burnley. We score a penalty from a silly handball. They just gift us the game. They go, there you go, lads, have it, you know? And that second half, I'm like, right, I want to see some decent football here. I want to see the 10 men Burnley, one of the worst sides in the Premier League by a mile. They can't buy a win. I want to see what we can really do here, because I'm struggling to see patterns of play in the final third. And all it taught me is just all of the same problems that were there against Spurs, who also gave us all of the fucking ball and went, you go and beat us if you want. The lack of identity and creativity in that midfield, where it's like we only get coached on what to do off the ball. And when we get the ball, we're like, fuck knows, mate. And the touch, the sloppiness of all the passing from the midfield and the wingers, the fact that we've got, in my opinion, one of the best talents in the league in Voltemora, we don't even look to pick him out. He against 10 men Burnley, when he got subbed off at 73 minutes, he had one chance in the whole game, and it was almost one of them that just sort of falls to you from a defender or whatever. Like, we created nothing for him. And I am looking at this going, well, thank fuck we're playing Burnley. Because if we play anyone decent looking like that, we don't even fucking belong on the same pitch as them at the moment. And unfortunately, Newcastle fans, as much as I love us, like there's a portion of like people like me who are like looking at the long term, and then there's the happy clappers who just see the result and don't really want to fucking analyze anything. And it's like Anthony Gordon has a good game against this OSG in the Champions League. Fuck me, he's back. He's back, right? Then he's fucking terrible for all of the games where he's playing any half-decent opposition. Then he has a good game against Burnley again. Yeah, oh, he's back. He's back. Glad he's taking our penalties. Glad he's getting all the glory while Voltemora's living on scrap, slugging his guts up every week. And I'm just sick of it. And I'm like, can we just hold the fucking phone on this kid? Because he's been dog shit for a year. The very you know when Roy Keane says, that's your job though, innit? You're supposed to look half decent against these fucking pricks. Come on, man. And I'm just like, I'm getting annoyed at watching just shithead footballers who haven't got a fucking clue what they're doing and don't even look to pick out a striker. Like, why is Eddie Howe, and I'll leave it on this, why are you not saying to them, you know, he's up there, 6'6", can't miss him. How about you just shoot a ball into him, fucking hope for the best, or pass him the fucking ball every now and then. It's clear that Eddie's, in an attacking sense, where the instructions are just not there, and the lads are just...
I knew he was pissed off because Voltemora didn't score. I knew it. I saw the Newcastle score. I saw that Voltemora wasn't on the score sheet. I knew he'd be fucked.
Do you know what I'm thinking, lads? This is how bad it is. I'm going, you should go to Bayern Munich in summer, because we are a million miles away from where you are. We're not meeting them halfway. We're literally, if it's frustrating as it is for you with Gyökeres, imagine you had a great striker and no one even fucking passes the ball to him. It's so, and I'm like, And then you'll see other YouTubers going, just Voltemora, he's not a real striker, is he? I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to here? Do you know what I mean? Remember when Darwin Núñez was missing all those fucking chances for Liverpool and they were criticising him because he was missing chances? Fair enough. When you don't even give him the chances, what the fuck's he supposed to do?
All I'm going to say is make sure you tune in to the kickoff next week. Because Newcastle are playing Sunderland away. If they win, they go above them. If they lose, you want to be here to see it.
That's why I'm stressed out, you know. That's why I'm stressed out, because I'm like, if we play like this against Sunderland, we're going to get dog walked. Like, I'm looking at Sunderland being 2-0 down in a game and coming back and winning 3-2 and going, we don't have that. We don't have the fight, the technique. We can't come back from, we can throw away 2-0. We nearly fucking did. Burnley.
Great team. He sings the song.
I've gone right back to me all day.
I bloody hate Burnley.
We've given away a penalty in the 90th minute. I'm like, you fucking idiot, right? Jacob Ramsey, 40 million. And you're wondering, like, why is Eddie Howe not giving, he started one game since fucking he signed, man. We're in December. 40 fucking million for their sixth choice midfielder to be our sixth choice midfielder. What the fuck are we playing at? He gives away a penalty. I'm like, all right, it's annoying, but you know, 95th minute, ball in the box, Newcastle defenders, every single time, last 10 minutes we go to sleep. Every fucking time. And literally Burnley should have banged it and it should have been 2-2. 10 men Burnley should have fucking equalised against us. And Newcastle fan, I put this fucking tweet out and some Newcastle fans quoting it going, we nearly quoting me as if I'm wrong saying we nearly blew it. We fucking should have blown. If they weren't total shit, we at least draw that game. So
I think from a team or someone who supports a team that make a lot of defensive mistakes, the one thing you don't want to see is everyone do nothing. Even if they get it wrong, you want someone to do something. Shut your body at it like Chalobah tried to yesterday.
Did you see the Spurs overhead kick, Joey? That ball, I've seen fucking tortoises go quicker than that ball into the back of the net. Eddie fucking threw another defender on. He takes the midfielder off and throws the defender on to give us more coverage at the back. They just stood fucking watching it. And I think that's partly why I'm frustrated, because I wanted a performance that allayed some of the fears that were in Spurs, where you're like, you do nothing with the ball. You got the ball, you do nothing with it. And all I seen was Eddie come out after the Burnley game where we made all of the same mistakes and be like, well, the good thing is we can learn this lesson on a win rather than a loss. And I'm watching him thinking, you had the same performance last week. You've learned nothing. So why are you going to learn something now? I'm not saying anything. And if we don't address this situation and start putting balls into Altamada, we are going nowhere. And that's a fact. So yeah.
Well, mate, your position in the league table, and this is after a win, by the way. It's a bit scary. Teams like Brentford and Fulham, who, there's been times this season we've looked at them and gone, are they going to get pulled into a relegation battle? They're really close to Newcastle now. And this is, in the second half of the season, you're going to have more European fixtures. This is going to be a complicated season for Eddie Howe. And it's a funny one for me because I still look at the players on the pitch and I don't see enough quality that you should be this much better. I look at Joe Willock and Ramsey in midfield. It's like, that's not a passing midfield. That's not a midfield who are there to create chances for a striker. Elanga, I really thought that was going to take off that signing. I thought that was perfect for you guys. It just hasn't worked.
Mate. Honestly, I keep watching, I'm watching in horror, right? I watch his touch, and yes, he's trying to get balls in. It's not that he's not trying, bless him. And maybe it'll come good after a while. Like, remember Almiron just had a fucking run of form. Like, maybe that may happen. I hope it does. But people are looking at the performances and going, oh, they're that bad, really? We spent £100 million on these two players, Ramsey and Elanga. And Eddie, he doesn't fancy either of them, and he's obviously playing them in the hope that things get better. But I'm not seeing anything that tells me it's going to get better. And it's fucking. We have a reputation for being quite good buyers. We really fucked this window.
One thing I would say is when that reputation of being quite good buyers, historically, last couple of seasons, it has actually took them about a window for more or less most of them to start coming good. And I think that you can hold your hat on that. You can also look at the fact that Eddie Howe turned it around last season, but then you've got to look at it and you've got to go to memory. I don't remember how many it was, but it felt like it was about 18 games in. So we're approaching that mark where if it's going to happen and it's going to swing completely the other way and Newcastle are going to salvage a really successful season as they did last year, it's got to happen by the time you play Sunderland, really, to really start kicking in.
We need to get rid of these wingers and bring in some actually technically gifted players. And we need an attacking midfielder. Joe Linton should not be starting games, really. He's just so terrible with the ball.
Do you know what's so funny is you're 3 points off fourth.
I know.
Yeah, then you have to look behind as well, Josh. Like, you have to look behind at the teams who are getting close. And honestly, Brian, where are you if you lose that Sunderland game?
I think there's the doubt, because the thing is, performances, as you know, with watching managers like the Spurs manager, if you have bad performances, but you're getting a little better here and there, which we have been, and eventually you put a run of wins together. Like, if we beat Sunderland, we're on a bit of a winning run. I think that we can build a lot of confidence from that. But if we lose, I think that then people look deeper into the performances and we go, is this good enough? Because here's the thing that I'm seeing. In Eddie's first full season, when we got fourth, we were way better than what we are now. Way better as a team to watch. We were very hard to beat. We weren't anywhere near as pathetic at giving all these goals away. Mentally so solid. Like, we are regressing, and that is actually something I'm saying in the games. Do you know what I mean? So that's my main worry, and I want to give Eddie the time to put that right. But if we don't buy serious players in this January transfer window, we are going to continue going backwards. We'll find out against Sunderland. I think that's going to be that is the game of the season, man. It's the fucking game of the season. We'll find out.
I am glad we aren't doing live stream for the game against Sunderland, because I tell you what, if Newcastle don't pull it out the bag, anyone that's within about a 5 to 10 foot vicinity of Brighton is at danger. Right. You're putting your life at
furniture.
risk.
Brian's Furniture is very glad we're not doing live streams for that game.
Fuck me, lads. I'm not going to be happy. Right, we'll leave it there. Big love to everyone who watches the kickoff. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, check all the lads' channels out, and we'll see you on the next one.